All right. Now we're learning, we're continuing, and God willing, we'll finish the the speech that the Rebbe made in 1992 on this week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha, and it's talking about what is the
92 or 91?
1992, 19 in Nun base here. See, I think let's have a look.
Nun Beis was in, I think, was in 91. No, the end of Nun Beis was 91. No,
Nun base. Let's see. 1 second. What's this year? Now is what year are we in now? We're in 19. We're in 2023. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. I never used the Jewish stuff because in the Hebrew date is 84. So it's 1 year before. Okay, you're right. Yes, you're right. Thank you very much. I stand corrected and I sit corrected. And thank you very much. That's right, 91. Good. In any case, Tafshin Nun base, right? Tafshin Nun bait. And the Rebbe spoke. This was very shortly before he had a stroke. What, 5-6 months, 4 or 5 months before he had a stroke. And now he's talking about what does Abraham mean to us? What are we supposed to do? He's our father. Abraham is called our father. That he's called our father means that, let's see, am I translating this? Am I recording this? Yes. Abraham is called our father. Why is he called our father? Because he inherited something to us. What did he inherit to us? A lot of things. But here, the Rebbe is pointing out Lech Lecha, going, that we should constantly be moving closer and closer to the truth, to who we really are. Lech Lecha means go to yourself, to who we really are. According to Judaism, self-realization, self-manifestation, self-awareness, all these things that are promised by all these others does not mean introspection alone. You have to do introspection, there's no doubt about it. But it does not, the main introspection is maybe 1% of the whole business, 2%. The main thing is feeling our responsibility to the world according to what God wants. That's why God is creating us. He's creating us to go out of what we've done before, never to be satisfied. Right? They asked the Rebbe once, "Are you happy?" Because in the regular Western world, that's the goal of life, is to be happy. So the Rebbe said, "I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied." In other words, to be happy with what you've got is a wonderful thing. You have to be happy, but you should never be satisfied with what you got. You have to appreciate what you have. And in some ways, that's one of the big reasons for happiness, to be happy that I'm alive, happy that I can have free will, happy that I can decide things out. Right? And then if you have additional things, you'll be able to see, you're able to hear, you should be happy with what you have, but you should never be satisfied with what that you have. The reason we have is in order to do more. That's why God gave the Torah. And the Torah is to drive us crazy, to make us not satisfied with what we are until we said all the Jews are all aware of God. They're all in the land of Israel, serving God, doing Torah, doing the commandments, and aware more and more of God. Like we just finished learning, that God will circumcise our hearts, like we said before. Okay, so that's what it means. This is the message of the Torah, and this is also a preparation of the giving of the Torah. Because if you remember, the Rebbe said that God is giving the Torah brand new all the time. The Torah is always brand new, always fresh. And if you ask a question, how can the Torah be fresh all the time? It's an old book. I mean, the rabbis, you can look in the books and you can see what Rashi said about the Torah 900 years ago, 1,000 years ago, right? And the people have been learning the Torah for 3,000 years. How can you say that it's brand new all the time? So the answer to that is that the world is also brand new. The world is also brand new, every single instant. And you can ask the same question. One second, there's laws of nature. These laws of nature have been applicable for at least the last few hundred years, since Isaac Newton, maybe last 5,000 years according to the Torah. According to science, some scientists, the laws of nature have been going unchanged for the last 20 billion or trillion, whatever years. That's pretty impressive. So the world is not changing. The laws are the same. So that's because you're looking at it from your point of view. But the fact of the matter is that these laws and nature itself and the very existence of the physical and the spiritual and the consciousness, these are all being created brand new every second. And if you look at it that way, you realize, on one hand, it's pretty scary. It's like, going into an elevator and there's no elevator. You're just, you go into this and you're talking to your friend, the elevator door opens and you're talking, you're standing there and you're talking and you say, press number 2. And your friend says, I don't know if you noticed, but there's no box here. There's no elevator. We're just standing elevated on nothing. We're standing on nothing. So on one hand, that's what the world is. We're standing on nothing. So that's pretty freaky. On the other hand, it's a pretty big miracle. And it's been going on for thousands of years. According to science, millions of years. Billions, trillions, who knows, quadrillions of years, the world has just been stable, more or less. I mean, if you want to call what's going on now stable, but the laws of nature at least have not changed. So on one hand, you can say, well, maybe there is no creator. What are you talking about? Maybe this is it, right? But on the other hand, Judaism says it's not so. You're standing on absolutely nothing. And the reason that nothing changes is because it's a big miracle from God. But the fact is that the world is always brand new. And so it is also with the Torah. But the difference with the Torah is demanding from us that we do things. The world is not demanding anything. When you read the Torah, suddenly you realize that you have to change the world. That's Lech Lecha. That's the Lech Lecha. So Lech Lecha, this idea of Lech, going to yourself, moving out to your true self, what does it mean, true self? Pursuing your responsibility to the world. And like Professor Viktor Frankl says, the door to meaning opens outward. Outward. So it says go. So therefore, Lech Lecha means going out. He said that in just psychological terms, not in Torah terms. That's just the way the world is. You want to find true meaning, you have to go out of yourself. And since that serving God, Tzorech has to be tamid, always, constantly, ba'ofen, in a way of halicha, of going and moving. I want to get my pointer over here. My fire pointer. Here we go. Second. Okay. Since the serving God always has to be constant in a way of walking, walking, and it was totally leaving where you were before. Kamudgash, like it says in the idea of Lech Lecha, Kolel, including also Matan Torah, giving the Torah, also has to be brand new all the time, moving, so it's understood. Constantly there is a necessity. Avur zeh, because of this, in Lech Lecha. You always have to draw inspiration from Abraham that he was always moving, leaving where he was, k'hakdama, as a preparation for the revelation of the giving of the Torah. Now, when Moshiach comes, it says that there's going to be a new Torah. Torah chadasha mi'itetetze. Really, it doesn't say that. It's in Isaiah, it says that the Torah is going to come from me. And the rabbis said it means a new Torah. What does it mean, a new Torah? Like nature, everything is going to be the same. Especially the Torah. The laws of the Torah will never change. There won't be any more laws. There won't be any less laws. The laws are going to be the same, and the Sefer Torah is going to be the same, and the definition of what is a Jew is going to be the same. And everything. So what does it mean, a new Torah? It means that we'll feel the godliness in the Torah. We'll feel that the Torah is constantly moving us upward. More and more and more responsibility. But that's what Allah has come. How much more so when it's talking about a revelation that's so high, Shalom Be'erich, which is incomparable. And what is that new revelation going to be? Like we just finished learning in Torah Or. God is going to circumcise our hearts. A Gula and Mitit Vashlema, total redemption. Hari, since just an innuendo. Someone once asked the Rebbe, what do we have to sleep for? What do we have to go to sleep? Why is there sleep? The whole purpose of man is to fill his obligation to the creation and to the creator. Responsibility to do the commandments, do Torah, do commandment, to improve the world, improve himself. And when you're asleep, you're not improving anybody. You're not doing anything. You're just out, right? Why doesn't, instead of a person living 120 years and spending 1/4 of that time asleep, so why not just make it that people live 90 years and all the time be awake. Take away a quarter. You're asleep anyway. Won't miss anything. So people will live only 90 years old and they won't go to sleep, and you'll be active all the time. Why? So the Rebbe said the reason is, I mean, I don't really know if somebody asked the Rebbe or the Rebbe asked him. He asked this question, rhetorical question, whatever. So he said the reason is like this. I guess that's not 100% rhetorical. Anyway, the answer is like this: that when you go to sleep, when you get into a regular deep sleep, so you really think it's real. You think that that's really reality. You're not aware that you're asleep, and you react to what's going on in your dream. Right? You get afraid, you get happy, you get this, that, right? In your dream, and then when you wake up, you realize, oh, that was not really reality. I just thought it was. Well, the same thing, you start to realize maybe it's possible that the state that we're in now, that we feel that our existence, our egotism, all this, and we translate the world according to what it does to me, that's also a dream. And that we can wake up totally from it. In other words, there's a totally different state of reality. Now we're talking about of just, consciousness or whatever. You go into the upper worlds and you see, the whatever is the souls floating around up there or something. No, we're talking about this physical world is the ultimate reality, and we don't feel it at all because we're like asleep. So just like when we were asleep, we wake up and we say, wow, I was asleep. So similarly now, we'll realize that this whole last 5,000 whatever years has just been a whole sort of sleep state. And that's what the Moshiach will do. That's what it means, tshuva, to return everybody to consciousness. So that's the redemption that's going to be in the future is a whole new type of awareness. Hari moving, so it's understood. We'll see what the Torah really is. We'll see what the commandments really are, with the importance of them. They won't change, but we'll see the meaning of them. That's what it means. That's what it means, Lech Lecha, that God told Abraham to go up higher and higher. And what was the goal? To come to the land of Israel. This is a preparation for, and this was a preparation for Abraham. God telling Abraham to go to Israel, this was a preparation for the giving of the Torah, which would be like 400 years later. This depends, the whole completion of the giving of the Torah, which was going to be. Chibur, when the Torah came, was given, that joined the upper worlds and the lower worlds. Hainu, moving, so it's understood, Shekol Zaman, Shechasa, that there's lacking. Completion of taking over the land of Israel, Ukafisha Zaman is like it is now, Kasher Ein Lanu, called Eser Artzos, that we do not possess all the 10 lands. The Rebbe is not talking about, in addition to the fact that we depend on what the United Nations say, we depend on this, but God promised Abraham 10 lands, the area that was occupied by 10 different kings, 10 different nations. And God promised, and we only received to date, from Joshua until this very day, we only got 7 of them. And so hopefully all this confusion now that's going on in the world is going to result in amazing miracles. And for sure it's going to be. And we're going to get those other 3 lands. Hopefully without any bloodshed, that's the plan, is that we're going to get these lands without any bloodshed, without any wars with them. Hari moving, so it's understood. Kinyan, or it's all the time that it's lacking. That we don't have all the 10 lands. Chaser gam b'shlemos. So therefore, the whole effect of the giving of the Torah is also lacking. Davka al yedei, only by means of this will be the completion of Lech Lecha me'artzecha le'eretz asher areka. Then there'll be the whole entire land of Israel. When we say we want the whole entire land of Israel, the land that God promised to Abraham. And then everybody's going to be happy. Everyone will be happy. As then gam shlemos the kiyum Torah b'mitzvos. Then there'll be the completion of Torah and the commandments. Then we'll be able to do the commandments that will be different. Our hearts will be circumcised, and we'll do the commandments as a sign of infinite gratitude to the free gifts that God is giving us all the time. He's creating us. He's giving us life. Like it's going to be in the Geula Mitishlema, in the true redemption. And therefore, calls them on all the time that we are found now in exile, and before the redemption, Lifnei Geula, before the redemption, Azai, then Nogea B'Pol Mamash, we can see it is very, very important and vital. This commandment of Lech Lecha Me'artzecha Ela Eretz Asher Erekad, what God said to Abraham, the Kenyan Eretz Israel, and taking over the land of Israel completely, all the 10 lands. Gam Ka'achana L'Shleimut the Torah Mitzvot. I mean, if you've ever seen a map of it, it comes out that really all of Jordan, and a lot of Iran, and some of Iraq is our portion. I mean, they don't do anything with it anyway. I mean, there's no reason that, well, it'll just change owners. That's all. It'll be a Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze. A new Torah will come from me. Nosaf Lamash Medaber, that is relevant to giving the Torah every day in a brand new way. Shezeh Yeh Gam Acharei Geula. This will be after the redemption. Therefore, it'll be relevant to the whole thing of Lech Lecha. Every day the Torah will be brand new. This will be continual. So, okay, what's the explanation? Matim Gan, this is also to the inside, the spiritual aspect of everything. Kibush Sheva Artzos, conquering the 7 lands. This is relevant to the service of our refining our 7 emotions. Right? According to Kabbalah, it says we're made in the image of God. The Kabbalistic meaning of this, made in the image of God, means that just as God has 10 aspects, they're called 10 sfirot, and it's mentioned in this book called Sefer Yetzirah, which it says was given to Abraham. And it talks about the 10 sfirot of God, the mystical, how it is that God is infinite, and he hasn't got a body, God is infinite, he creates everything, but how it is that he articulates himself to create a world. What is the whole process? Because that process is according to the 10 the sefirot. Well, the lower part of these 10 sefirot are what's called God's 7 emotions, and that corresponds to us. We're made in God's image. So when we fix up our 7 emotions, that fixes up God's 7 emotions. God's 7 emotions corresponds to the 7 days of creation. So that's fixing up this lower aspect of God, which is called the creation. But the 3 lands, the Kini and the Kenizi and the Kadmoni, Al Avodah, this refers to our intellect. Our minds, our awareness will be different. Bismanas, and now the Jewish people only have what's called the 7 lands, because now the main service that we have to do is refining our emotions, what we love, what we fear, what we desire, what our goals are. Ubavoda the Gimel. But serving God with awareness now is only just in order to change our emotions, to have more love of God, etc. That's the purpose of Chabad Hasidut. The teachings of Chabad, they're all very intellectual, but the main thing of the intellect is to change our emotions. But in the future, Kasher calling Avodas Hashem, when all of the thing of serving God will be complete, whole, like it says, we have circumcised our hearts already. That's what we just finished learning, right, in Torah. Our hearts, our emotions will be refined by us. Then the main service will be higher awareness of God. Gimel Mochin, mainly serving God itself, litacherim elokut, a higher level of unity with God by means of complete unity. Yichud nifla shel seichel Torah, your unity of your mind with the Torah, the wisdom of God. The God and his wisdom are one. By means of this, that the Torah and God are totally one, is revealed that Jewish people in the Torah and God are totally one. And there was pure wisdom of God, pure understanding of God. From this, it's understood the completion of serving God, connecting with our Creator, and also with our 7 emotions, is called with all the 10 powers of our soul. The 3 aspects of intellect, which is called Chachma Bina V'dat, that's Chabad, and also the emotions, love, fear, all according to each one individually. Like it says, Ve'ahavtat Hashem, you have to love God. But this is the motto of Judaism. Shema Yisrael, listen, Jews. Shema means to understand. Understand is a commandment to try to understand God. You have to try to understand God. Shema Yisrael, what are you supposed to try to understand? Israel, Jewish people, try to understand what? That Hashem Elokeinu, that God is our God, and that God is one. When you do understand this and feel that God is creating us, You feel how close and good God is, then ve'ahavta, you will love God with all of your heart, that's your emotions, all of your soul, that's all the 10 powers of your soul, and all of your being, that's called serving God above any sort of limitation. That's what Abraham did. Lech lecha, he went out of all of his limitations. That's serving God, but called mildecha. Gam shel eser kochot adam, even higher than the 10 powers of the soul, until it comes to be me'od amiti, till you reach true unlimited service of the Creator. Which you might say, how can that be possible? And the answer is because we're creations of God. And also when God gave us the Torah, he gave us everything. He gave us a true revelation of himself to us. And God revealed it to 3 million people. It wasn't just that a couple people went into some cave or something and came out with it. You'll never believe what I saw. I got the holy book, right? 3 million people actually saw and felt, this is face to face. They saw the Creator, and even deeper than the Creator, they saw the reason of creation. They saw the Torah. Do we see that and feel it now? No, but we should, and we will. The power, that's what it means, is going to be a new Torah. The preparation and the receiving of the power for this is what it says in our Torah portion. Lech lecha me'artzecha, go from your land, place ela eretz asher areka, to the land that I show you. And Netirat Eretz Israel, to see that the Torah is brand new all the time. The giving the land of Israel will be brand new. All the 10 lands. Shezek kolel, this includes the completion of service. Instead of us worrying about what the United Nations says, the United Nations will worry about what we say. Right? Am I doing what God wants? Is this the proper way to give charity? Is there anyone in the world that's suffering that we can alleviate their suffering? Are we, right? The United Nations will be taking advice from us. They'll be worried about what we say. But Gam also at the Shlemo Shel Matan Torah, there'll be the completion of the giving of the Torah, that it will be added on an extra revelation of intellect that's even to the emotions, will be able to have higher appreciation and love and awe of God. It'll be higher than just the intellect we have now. That's corresponding to what's called the 49 gates of wisdom that are revealed now. In the future, it will be like that was at Mount Sinai. They'll even be revealed. It says the 50th gate. Then there will be the revelation of the essence of the Torah, the intellect of God, the wisdom of God. This is revelation of the Shar HaNun, the 50th gate of wisdom. The Ad until Kafi, Shehu Nala, until a way that it's even higher than the 49 gates that were previously. Torah Chadasha Mite Teitze. In other words, the revelation that was at Mount Sinai will be constant. That's why the Torah was given 50 days after the Jews left Egypt, and 49 of those days they counted the Omer. It's a commandment to count every day from Passover until Shavuot, when God gave the Torah, because on Shavuot was revealed this 50th gate, but it was only revealed in one little place, and it was revealed very short amount of time. In the future, it says that and that was the revelation that comes together with the Torah. By the way, that revelation was constant in the Holy of Holies. What was in the Holy of Holies? The tablets. And the tablets were always there. And the King Solomon made a room down deep, it says, in the winding chambers underneath, and because he knew the first temple was going to be destroyed, and in case it was destroyed, let's say, and that's where it was in the second temple. It was hidden down deep, but it was always the Torah was, the tablets were always there. The revelation in the Holy of Holies was the same revelation as in Mount Sinai. But it was only in one little place, and people couldn't go in there. And only one person could go in, only one time of the year, and for a very short amount of time, like at Mount Sinai. But at Mount Sinai, everybody saw it, but it was too much for them. In the future, it won't be too much. Everybody will be able to receive it, and the Gula Miti Tashlem, and the true redemption. Together with this tremendous revelation, will be drawn down not just to the Jews, but to the whole world. Until Gamba Eretz Lazu, until this physical world, Romans, that's hinted at, the Kini and the Kadmoni, these 3 nations that we're going to be given, is the Kini, the Kenizi, and the Kadmoni, the letter Kuf. And the letter Kuf is an unusual letter because there's a stick that comes down below the line. below the sentence line, right? That's the kuf, comes down low. It comes down below the line, the straight line that the letters are written on. 3 times kuf, which shows a chazaka. Something that says 3 times means it's going to be permanent. Namely, that the whole entire world, the lowest place in the world, will be filled in a permanent way with the awareness of God, just like water fills the ocean. That's how the Rambam finishes his book, and that's a sentence from Isaiah, right? Where is it in Isaiah? You want to find out? Here it goes. Isaiah, the 11th chapter of Isaiah, and the Rambam says in the very end. Some people say that when it says that the world will be filled with the knowledge of God like water fills the ocean, that the word for ocean, yam, is the numerical value of 50. Yud Mem, 10 and 40. Connected this corresponding to the 50th gate of understanding. And Mayim, that the world will be filled with, like it says, the world will be filled with the knowledge of God like water fills the ocean. Ocean is 50. The word Mayim, water, plural, this indicates on a lot of water. Mayim, plural. Doesn't say may plural. Alma the Pruta, the separate, reveals the whole entire flood waters, the turbulent waters of this world, will be covered over. They'll be covered over. There'll be a revelation. It says God will reveal in the world instead of all the confusion of the world. That the world will only be kisoy atafel liyamator, that the whole world will be just like a covering, like you receive a gift. The covering of the gift is secondary to the sea, the ocean of the Torah, the letter Nun. Mayim she'ein lem sof, it'll be water without any end. The Torah is no end, that will fill the world. Achas me'ahoro is one of the teachings that we can learn. What can we learn from this? What are we supposed to do? L'kol echad v'echad b'Yisrael, every single Jew, Yeshno has an obligation. Shall lech, to go, increase in learning Torah, la'afashazal, to increase in it, to spread out, l'chadesh b'Torah, and to make new ideas in the Torah. It's a very good thing if you sit and learn Torah and you don't think about, just understand what's in front of you. You understand the sentences, you understand the commentaries. You read the book of Proverbs, you read the book of this. If you're a Jew, to read the Talmud, just understand what's in front of you. When you do understand what's in front of you, then in the course of time, you say, hey, 1 second, I saw in the Torah something exactly the opposite. Oh, that's a question. That's good. That's good. How can I rectify this question? 1 second. Oh, I see somebody else asked that question. And he gives an answer like this. 1 second, there's another person that answers that question, and he answers it in a different way. And to me, the answer doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's good. That's called learning the Torah. Al-Fashabah. It means to increase in learning the Torah. Even if a Jew had learned a lot of Torah, it's always relevant to add on. In a way, chidush, to make a new ideas in Torah. Shekei in a Torah, because the Torah, he believes the Torah is unlimited. Arucha me'eretz mida v'racha v'miyom. Now that doesn't mean anything you say is true and it's right, but you have a right to ask any question you want, and it's a good thing. And even more, because the Torah is the wisdom of God, harikol inyan b'Torah, everything in the Torah itself gives the power to give birth even more new things, more and more new ideas in the Torah. Of course, like I say, there's wrong and right. There's criteria. There's a framework within which ideas can be, right? For instance, if an idea that you come up with in the Torah negates a commandment, then you know that you're off course. It's a foul ball. You're not in the ballpark. Right? It's not a home run out of the ballpark. It's that you're not playing the game. You're playing a different game, right? To learn the Torah properly means that it has to somehow or other support all of the commandments, how to do the commandments in a better way. But anyone who comes along and says, I have a new idea in the Torah that says you don't have to put on tefillin anymore, according to the Torah, that person, if there was a death penalty, that person is worthy of it. because you can't negate the commandments. You can't negate the commandments. But within that, there's a whole world of truth. It's almost like saying, like in mathematics, right? That 1 and 1 is 4, 1 and 1 is 5, 1 and 1 is 7, 1 and 1 is 9, 1 and 1 is 12. All those infinite number of wrong answers you can get. On the other hand, there's an infinite number of combinations that you can use to get to 1, right? Get to 1. 5 minus 4, 4 minus 3, 3 minus 2, 1/2 plus 1/2, 1/4 plus 3/4. All these, right? There's infinite ways of getting to the true answer, but there's also infinite ways of messing the whole thing up. So therefore, you have to be, the Torah was given to learn, to understand, and to ask questions, and to draw new conclusions. But you have to be careful that those new conclusions are true, that they come to the truth. In any case, there's many, many levels you can learn. That's what we can learn from Lech Lecha. The Eretz Asher Areka means that not just going and making new ideas in the Torah, but the going, it has to be true. Shehu davka shelo be'erich, infinite, incomparable to what was previously, that you go totally out of what you were before into a whole new understanding and feeling of the value of the Torah and the commandments. Even afilu regilos de kedusha, kol el chidushim. In last years, we did it last year. We learned the Torah with a lot of its commentaries, and you see different commentaries, amazing, right? The Orach Chaim and the Kli Yakar and the Rashi and this. Just it says that the 70 faces to the Torah. To learn them is just quite wonderful. Kol, this is novelties which were even made before, new ideas. Mahalech machshava shechashav kodem, things that were thought about before, until you reach to the Eretz Asher Reka. Then you reveal otcha b'atzmacha, by learning the Torah and coming to new ideas of truth. And by the way, they have to be discussed. You can sit in your house and learn new ideas, wonderful, and write them all down and think you're the biggest genius. But go and discuss it with other people, maybe with rabbis that are more serious than you, or that are more knowledgeable than you, or that have been doing it longer than you, and see, maybe they have questions. I'll call and with all of your abilities, also in your concealed powers that you have. Al derech similarly, the kochot atzmam, the abilities that you have, not just in the 7 emotions and your intellect, but also in the essence of awareness, consciousness, that only in this can be revealed. Suddenly you get new ideas, what they call in English inspiration. Inspiration. New ideas in the Torah, and we're going to have to stop here. Tomorrow is Friday, and God willing, we'll finish this. God willing, we'll finish. There's not much left to do. I don't know. Maybe we should do it now. No. Yeah, we'll learning Torah. 1 second. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to we'll finish this off tomorrow, which that shouldn't take long, and then we will do a speech of another speech of the Rebbe in Lukuti Sicha. So God willing, see you tomorrow. Now we're going to do a yom, and then after that a story. Let's just close this 1 second. Stop the share. Stop this.